this idea that I had read the newspaper, much of the newspaper that was the local, Cologne German newspaper, and then I had read the American paper that was available as USA Today, and they didn't have anything in common. Like the German newspaper had like a lot of different stuff, and the American paper had one story. And the one story was about that astronaut, the lady who went to kill her husband, right? You don't know about that. That's all they cared about in USA Today. So they had, like, page 3 might be people who knew him when they were kids, and then like graphs and stuff like that, a little map, a whole 2 pages of a map of her going to the gas station with a pair of diapers on and then driving on to go kill this guy. And that's all we were fascinated with. So I was trying to write a song on the spot that would somehow make a comment about the difference between Europe and America based on the way that the newspaper I read that day. And I wasn't even able to find the key of C. So you can see this on YouTube, and I'm muttering around and having a really hard time. And I actually got scared that I wasn't going to get through the gig at all. And suddenly, out of nowhere, this song came. And you'll hear it at the end of the 15, if you can get that far, 15 minutes of this. At the end, this next song I'm about to play is about 75% there, minus some words and a couple little tweaks and stuff. It just all came out like that. I had no idea I was going to be able to get through that gig. And I had no idea that the thing I was making up was going to be something that I would be playing with symphony orchestra. So life is weird, and here's the song. I know I said it wrong. I walked you to the train and back across alone to my hotel room and ordered me some food. Now I'm wondering why the floor has suddenly become a moving target. 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm letting you go. I will let go if you will let go. 4, 3, 2. Says here an astronaut put on a pair of diapers you will let go. 4, 3, 2. Weightless as I close my eyes. Whoa, the ceiling opens into skies. Such a painful trip to find out this is it. And as I go to sleep, you'll be waking up. 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm letting you go. I will let go if you will let go. In your violin section. Your concert master, Olga Ferroni. She keeps their ass in shape. This song I wrote for animals. My kids were 6 years old, and I was looking for a project that well, to be honest, just that they would think I was cool if I did. And so I did this animated movie. It's called Over the Hedge. And this song was about when the rat or whatever and the turtle both start to sort of see each other's side and realize that things are changing. And this was the most important song to DreamWorks at the time, and it is why I had to get on a plane to fly around with, well, his name was Jeffrey, but it wasn't. Jeffrey Katzenberg. I flew around on the plane with Jeffrey Katzenberg, and we would like go to malls in different cities, and you play the movie for people as a test audience, and then they tell you what to change. It's very bizarre, and so this song was the thing that they were concentrating on for a couple of the trips. People were making notes on it and stuff, and so, they were like, giving notes to Jeffrey Katzenberg and to Hans Zimmer, who I was working with. And Hans pulled me aside, and he said, in the mall, in the food court, and he said, it's unanimous, you're gonna have to take out that line about the microscope. Because I was thinking about, you know, like when you're a kid, you first look through a microscope, you're surprised how stuff is moving, you know. And I was thinking that's a kind of a neat analogy to the way that things seem like they're still, but they're actually still changing, and they're changing before your eyes. But they didn't like the microscope thing, and so Hans said, you've really got to take that out. And I never changed a word for anybody. And I was thinking about what I was going to say back, and I looked at Hans, and he's standing under a Jamba Juice sign. And I just said, yeah, okay, I'll change it. I'll change it to the stars above instead. Thinking that was the worst thing I'd ever heard. It's like, that's great. So I did try the song recently with the original lyric. They were right at that food court. It wasn't a very good line. Here's the song. I must give the impression that I have the answers for everything. You were so disappointed to see me unravel so easily. But it's only change, it's only everything I know. It's only change, and I'm only changing. What's the second word after you? That's right. Add about 10 bars to that iPad. You want something that's constant, but I only wanted to be me. But watch, even the stars above, things that seem still are still changing. But it's only change, it's only everything I know. It's only change, and I'm only changing. thought it was my fault, and in a way I guess it was. I'm just now finding out what it was all about. We moved to the West Coast, away from everyone. She never told me that you called. Back when I was still in love, till I opened my eyes, walked out the door, and the clouds came tumbling down. And it's bye-bye, goodbye, I tried. And the truth that you're wrong, trying to make it right, had to leave myself behind. I've been flying high all night. So come pick me up. I've landed. The daily dramas that she made from nothing, so nothing ever made them right. And she liked to push me and talk me back down till I believed I was a crazy one. And in a way, I guess I was. Till I opened my eyes, looked out the door, and the clouds came tumbling down. And it's bye-bye, goodbye, I tried. Dreading to see our troubled mind, had to leave myself behind. Singing bye-bye, goodbye, I tried. If you wrote me off, I'd understand it, 'cause I've been on some other planet. So come pick me up. It's landed, and you will be so happy to know. It's over. As I opened my eyes, walked out the door, and the clouds came tumbling down. And it's bye-bye, goodbye, I tried. And I'm concentrating on the telephone. It's okay to call. I will answer for my friend. Come pick me up. Come pick me up. I've landed. So how about the horns? So, some of you may know, I had a day job for about, 8 years at the Kennedy Center, the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. And it's because I love orchestras, and when I was a kid, I played in orchestra. I played youth orchestras. I mean, I don't think we were very good, but we all got introduced to what the orchestra really is. And the orchestra really is it's an artistic expression of civilization. That's what I learned when I was a kid playing in an orchestra, that's what it is. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing to have. It cost a fuck ton of money in the first place. And it's not possible without a city that cares enough to make it happen. So the fact that you have a world-class orchestra says a lot for you. As you hold down the fort of civilization while the wild winds blow. And you know, the reason that it's clear to me that that's what the symbol is because there's a lot of people working together for something that is greater than any one person on stage. And that's a concept that is so important if we're going to survive as a species. So I don't think it's any small thing that the symphony orchestra is surviving in this era. And I would say that we need the symphony orchestra more than they need us, and you should come out all the time. If you don't know what to see, or you feel like you don't know how to act, you know, like you could tweet. Well, don't do that. I don't know. You can't get in touch with me anymore, but no, I'm out there on social media, like maybe on Instagram. I pick that up every once in a while. But the point is if you can find me, ask Giacomo. You got one of those accounts? Yeah. So you can ask Giacomo, or you can ask the symphony themselves. Like, what would you be interested in? Because I'll tell you, I love all the old Dead Germans music. It's so much amazing stuff. I like a lot of old Dead Frenchmen too. I love Ravel and Debussy. Those are some of my favorites. I can listen to that forever. Some of the best music, Prokofiev, Rachmaninoff. Like stuff that's kind of relatively-ish new. You know, like 20th century. Shostakovich. Shasta is good. There are a lot of new composers out there too, who just they're doing amazing work. And if you see someone new, come out. But the point is that if you can support civilization in this era, that is really actually doing something. It really is. It really is. Look, if these guys will cut the money that it takes to keep food and water safe, you think they're going to take care of this? We have to do that ourselves for right now. And I just would love it if you started to come out all the time. I mean, especially if you could, like the thing is, and I've told this to people a lot before, and I do believe it's true, and I saw a bipartisan study which actually showed that it is indeed true, which is if you take a date to the symphony orchestra, you'll get laid. It's true. It is true. It's the one thing, like up-and-coming kids, they think of everything. They go, I guess it'd be kind of ironic to go see like roller derby or something, but this works. If you decide you love that enough, then let's say you're a serial philanderer, you get yourself season tickets, 2 of them in the same seat. Show up with a different date every week. But really, I do this because I love orchestras, and I know that my music's pretty good and everything. But I think that when you see the music that the orchestra is really shines at, it will blow your tiny mind. You you don't have to dress fancy. You can't heckle like you do at my shows, I'll tell you that. And just look left and right before you clap, that's all. Just don't clap until someone else has done so. If you have to sneeze or cough, wait till the second movement. I don't know. Okay. This is a song, well, it's not about anything really. I made this one up on stage too because I was trying to impress kids who were there from in Rochester from the Eastman School of Music. And anyone in this band go to Eastman? Yes. Yes, we do. Yeah. Y'all know Chavez? Across the street from at least some of the school, there's a place called Java's, and it was a coffee shop. And I kept going into Java's, and I was on tour, and they were giving me free stuff. And it was embarrassing because all the music students knew who I was, and they couldn't afford coffee because they're musicians. And so I felt kind of weird, and so I made this song for them on stage. And the reason it has so many odd chords in it that don't work together is because I was just pulling as much irresponsible synthetic mode shifts as I could to try to be cool for the kids. Anyway, this song is called Free Coffee.